They just said she was dropped off at a hospital and she was later pronounced dead.
Hey family, and welcome back to another episode on our true crime series. Today we will be talking about Ciaya Whestone, who was a 21-year-old young lady that attended the University of New Orleans. She was dropped off at a local hospital around 7:30 a.m. and later found out that she was no longer living.
Yep. This one is crazy. I mean, we're going to get to the bottom of it. Y'all going to have to follow along. Make sure y'all stick around to the end because we gotta, I don't know, we're going to try to come up with what we think happened. This is very new. A lot of this story just broke today, so we trying to get on it so we can help get her story out because it's a lot of weird things going on. Her mama want to know what happened to her, and
we want to know what happened.
We want to know, and we think she deserved the extra coverage because it's not getting a lot of TV right now. Maybe it'll pick up later, but we wanted to get on it pretty soon. So we're gonna start from the top and just give y'all everything that they've gave the press so far. Like the news haven't gave out much information, but we're gonna give y'all what they have gave us. So Ciaya Whestone was a 21-year-old college student attending the University of New Orleans. She was originally from South Carolina, and she was going to school to be, what was she going to school for? Business administration. Yeah. She was going to school for business administration. She was working at a local buckle in New Orleans as a fashion stylist, and they said she had a very bright future. Yeah. Now, we're going to go ahead and just tell y'all how it happened. So, according to the reports and according to the newspapers of New Orleans, Ciaya Whestone hung out with friends on February the 18th. They attended it wasn't the Mardi Gras parade, but it was
like a carnival.
It was a carnival parade in a small city next to New Orleans. So they went to the parade. I'm guessing it was that evening. After they left the parade, they went to a few local bars. They hung out all night and they had a good time. She was with a group of friends. Obviously, at that point, she was in good hands. Now, they said she got with another group of friends after they left the bar. And those group of friends drove her to her boyfriend's house. Now, from her boyfriend's house, she had been gone from her house all day. They had been out at the parade. They had been partying at bars all night. So around 1:30 a.m., she called the Uber from her boyfriend's house to drive her to her apartment to check on her dog. Her dog name was Zoe. Zoe, one of those. And she said she hadn't been there all day. So at this point, I'm thinking she was going to check on her dog, feed her dog. She'd been gone all day. Right. But she told the Uber driver to wait on her. And the reason we know that is because Ciaya has a roommate. Now, the roommate said that when Ciaya got to the apartment to check on the dog, it was in the middle of the night, around 1:30 at night. The Uber driver was outside waiting on her. She said Ciaya looked very intoxicated and that she tried to convince Ciaya to stay. At that point, Ciaya told her that the person that was driving was a friend of hers, which was her Uber driver. Her roommate name was Reese White. She said she tried to convince her to stay, but Ciaya insisted that the person that was driving was a friend of hers and she was in good hands.
Okay.
So she left with the Uber driver again, and at that point she told them that she was going to find her car. So I'm thinking they hung out all night. They partied the night before and they hung out all night. You know how friends do. They leave their car, they all get together. And so she was going to find her car after a long night out and been partying all night. That was the last time that her roommate had talked to her. Now, she does have another friend that said he contacted Ciaya at around 1:30 as she was getting into her Uber. Now, he said that he was on the phone with Ciaya and he heard the Uber driver ask Ciaya if she liked it to party. And he said that Ciaya told him that she would call him back. He said that he heard the Uber driver ask her that, and that right then Ciaya told him that she would call him back. And he said that he never heard from Ciaya. He said after so long, he called and he called and he called and he never talked to her again. Now, at some point, from her leaving her house, where her roommate tried to convince her to stay and not go, she was intoxicated. Her roommate said she was in her Uber. At some point, the Uber driver drops her off at a local hospital on February 19th, right before 7 a.m. that morning. Now, the reports are saying that the Uber driver dropped her off and she was in a non-responsive state. Some reports saying that, well, they not even saying her condition when she made it there. They just said she was dropped off at a hospital by a private ride share service, and she was later pronounced dead.
Right.
That's really all the news that the law enforcement and the hospital is giving to the family, her mother, and their lawyer. And that's why they're so confused, because they saying somebody knows something.
It's too many gaps in between there. Somebody knows something. Either the Uber driver or a friend, or somebody knows something that happened to Ciaya.
And so, because what we know right now is that Ciaya made it to her apartment with her roommate, seen her well and alive at 1:30 with the Uber driver. She left with the Uber driver well, and she was alive. She may have been intoxicated, but she wasn't in a state to where she was unresponsive and she was dying.
Because she talked to her friend.
Yeah, and she talked to her friend on the phone as well. He said Ciaya was well and things like that. Now, we do know this Uber driver asked her if she liked to party. Why would an Uber driver ask a young lady he's giving a ride in the middle of the night if she likes to party?
Right. I mean, it's kind of suspicious, but I can see, the Uber driver trying to make conversation.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's too many gaps, though. It's definitely too many gaps.
I think her family deserve to know the Uber driver name that dropped her off.
Definitely.
Because on the app it shows, and that's another thing that's not sitting well. If you ever rode in the Uber, when you book an Uber ride, it tell you your driver's name and things like that. Well, right when this happened, Uber puts out a statement and say, we have deactivated Ciaya's account because we starting an investigation. So, but they haven't told the family what this investigation is about.
Right.
And what they're finding in this investigation. The family lawyer wants to know, well, if y'all started the investigation, then tell us what y'all have found in y'all investigation and what exactly is y'all investigating. Because they just say, we opened an investigation, we closed Ciaya's account, no one else can access it, and it showed that she made it to her destination without no hiccups. So basically they saying Ciaya asked to be dropped off at the hospital.
Right.
Why would she ask to be dropped off at the hospital? That's what we want to know. Those are the questions we have. That's literally all the information that Ciaya family has.
Yes, at the moment.
It's weird. We don't understand what it is. It's crazy. And her mama made a statement. I mean, she's hurt. She made a statement that she dropped Ciaya off in New Orleans to graduate, not to be coming back to pack her up to take her to bury her.
Right.
So, I mean, I feel her pain. We definitely need to get to the bottom of it. I don't know. I mean, the hospital, any hospital, you guys done been in hospitals. Like, how many hospitals you have been into and you seen cameras everywhere?
Right.
Like, someone seen the state she was brought into the hospital.
Yes.
If she was dropped off unresponsive, who walked her in the hospital?
Right.
Or if she walked in the hospital on her own, what kind of car dropped her off?
Right.
Who was driving this car? Those are the questions that the family deserve to know, and they're not being given that information. And that in itself is fishy. I don't know why that information is not being passed around. She has an autopsy. Her body has been sent off for autopsy, but of course they said that takes 4 to 6 weeks, which is pretty standard. So right now we don't know her cause of death. We don't know if it was drinking. We don't know if it's trauma or drugs, or if it shows that she was murdered. We don't know that. But what we do know is we have a 21-year-old college student who was dropped off at a hospital and later pronounced dead. And the way her mother found out she was dead was she was calling Ciaya's phone. Ciaya wasn't answering. She kept calling, and at one point someone answered her phone, but it wasn't Ciaya. It was a nurse at the hospital. So at this point, the mother wants to know where is Ciaya.
Right.
The nurse proceeds to hand the phone over to the doctor, and the doctor tells Ciaya's mom that something very bad is going on with your daughter, and you need to get to New Orleans.
Right.
That was the information she was given. So at that point, I don't know if she drove to New Orleans, if she hopped on a plane. She got to New Orleans, and unfortunately, she drove up to her daughter deceased.
Right.
And she found that information out by calling her phone, and someone other than her answered her phone, and that's what she got. So, I don't know. We want to get to the bottom of this. Ciaya deserves more press. She deserves more TV time. we just, I mean, we need. I mean, I seen ABC News covering it and things like that, but it's being covered on the internet. Everybody don't use the internet. You know, most
Right.
people watch TV, and maybe it is picking up in other areas, but we wanted to bring light to this because at this point of us filming, the family doesn't have answers. Like
Right.
most of the stories broke today, her mother has been doing a lot of TV interviews with a picture of her baby girl in a picture frame, and she want answers, and she says she will not stop until she get answers.
Definitely. And we'll definitely be following this story, and we will update you guys when we figure out and find more information over Ciaya. So be on the lookout for that. We thank y'all and appreciate y'all for coming back and tuning in to our true crime series. If y'all have any episodes that y'all want us to cover, any cases that y'all want us to cover, go ahead and leave them down below in the comment section, and we will definitely get to them. Also, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell and also give us a thumbs up, and we will definitely keep more content coming. Peace, love, and happiness, y'all. We'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.